When I ask a question to the next gen, put up your hand, okay? All right, and we will not be able to give you the microphone, so allow me to just hold it. How many next gens are coming to an AGM for the very first time? Put up your hand. Nice and loud. Touch. Look like you're touching Jesus up there. Trying to get Jesus. So let's acknowledge them. I hope your experience has been wonderful. Where it has been painful, believe me, you will get over it. You just come back again. Whatever happened that didn't work, just come back again. One of the things about next gen is that we must have the grit that our founders have naturally. You know, founders have a natural grit. They have an ability to just persevere, and we are looking at them and we are telling them this business is not making any sense. So some of us need that grit, and one of the ways grit is to keep coming. How many of you, next gen, are 20 years and below? I just want to see if there's a third gen. Anyway, anybody? Not anybody? They are shy. 20 and below. You know why I say that? I say that I'm a biblical entrepreneur. Dr. Olive is a biblical entrepreneur. We have biblical entrepreneurs all around. I can see Dr. Olive, quite a number of us. And one of the things we have to do to graduate is that we have to write down our succession plan, even me. We have to write down our succession plan to graduate. You can imagine. So there is no success without succession, people. You do all the junior secondary you want, go and borrow 10 million from KCB, but there is no success without succession, all right? How many of us are 30 and below? That means between 20 and 30, put up your hand. I can't see, so I want to see. Let me come here so I can see what I'm asking. I want to see the majority. I'm trying to do an average. Between 20 and 30. I hope I'm not showing picture too much. Sorry, that's me. 20 to 30, I'm the patron of next year, so I'm allowed to do some things. Thank you very much. 20 and 30. How many of you between 30 and 40? Wow. Now, do you see why we stop calling ourselves India? Partners. Because some of us are really, if you can't be called junior, come to a meeting you are being called junior. You are even going to refuse to come to that meeting. Yeah? Now let's look at the ones we will start standing up for. Because to have some junior partners here, to be sent to between 40 and above, and you come and you sit down, that is a blessing. 40 to 50. 40 to 50, fourth floor. We call it fourth floor. Fourth floor. All right? And then there are some of us who truly, we don't know where we belong. Are we founders? We are 50, we call them 50 and above, towards 60 and bonus. I want them to please remove your space here and leave them in the middle there, because those are special people. Just, and that's where I need to come. I try to have Pedro have a special one. 50. So I'm going to ask, there are people I have talked to who I want to go a little bit into a Q&A, just a little bit, there are only 4 of them. All right, so the rest of you, thank you very much. You have made this place warm. So, how old were you when you joined the business?
26 years.
41.
29.
42.
Can you see? Your next gens can join the business. My father used to say he's following the model of the Muindis. What age do they follow? Mr. Mbongo used to say, hey, me, I'm looking at these Wahindis, they seem to be getting something right. Kikuyus seem to get it wrong. We look like we're very good until we die and then everything goes wrong. So there must be something that the Wahindis are doing right. What age does the Asian community get their people in? No, it's not yes. When they close school. Yes. When they close school.
Yes. They're there.
So they don't go to school, they go to
yes. Hata homework hawafanyi. Hiyo homework Monday to Friday, Saturday to Sunday, family business. Go and learn how to smile with customers. Then, the next question. One of the things we love about when we were starting the next gen, we used to laugh that we are KYMs. We don't know what we are doing in the school. Our work is when our founders just wake up and they decide leo enda hapa. So all of us used to meet and say, you do have a title? You do have a title? Boy, do you have an appointment letter? No. Do you have a salary? No. Hey, and it was tough. And then what would happen when you would ask, how come you don't have a salary? What are your folks saying? They are saying, lakini hii ni shule yako. That is the stories we used to literally have sleepless nights trying to understand. So I want to ask the people who are here, what is your position at the moment? Oh, by the way, I joined the, Kenan, you said you joined that? 20?
29.
29, yeah? I joined that 29, yeah? 28. Okay. That's my husband, so he correct. I get senior moments more than him, although we are age mates. 29, I joined at 28. Yeah? What is your current official position? Because now you're not called next gen. By the way, if you don't give your next gen a position, the staff members call them COO, child of the owner. So you do a great disservice to your child when your child does not have an appointment letter saying what they are. Because everybody else knows what they are. And because there is a vacuum, they go around being called child of the owner. Regina, what's your present?
Managing Director.
Managing Director?
CEO.
Chief Servant Officer.
Director.
Okay. So if we had all these other people, they would have all manner of titles, which is not a bad thing, but it is the beginning. All right? All you need to do as next gen, you have to align yourself to make sure whatever title you are giving, you are moving towards your purpose. Because if you talk, this family business can turn you around until God asks you, what did you do for me? No, me, I was just busy serving my father and my mother. No. All right, so just make sure whatever position you are, you keep going to those assessment tools, psychometric testing, personality, to find out that you are doing. Let me tell you, I started as a standard 2 class teacher. And I'm a PSC graduate, thank you very much. You're laughing at me. As a PSC graduate, I started as a standard 2 class teacher because I only went to Shikilia, my cousin who had gone for a mission in Hungary. I was not planning to be in the school. And then I stayed and I never left. All right. Okay, but as I continue growing, I realized there are some things that I cannot do well, but my parents think I can. So because of getting more personal development, that is why one of our core values is personal development, I realized some of these things that I'm being told to do because I have a degree, I really cannot do and they are not in my life. So slowly by slowly, I started moving to the point like now, many people know me as even a trainer more than a teacher. All right, so the other question is, now I will talk more. What would you like to tell your parents? Okay, and we'll start with those who are in heaven, okay, and those who are alive, even if they're here or not. Okay, so Regina, you had yesterday, I usually tell people if you want to benchmark succession, go to Mountain View School. Because both parents are arrested. So it is called a sibling generation school. It is run by siblings. So this is the best school to actually benchmark. So have you gotten, what would you like to tell your parents? You want to honor our parents? All right, go ahead.
Okay. First and foremost, I love the way they brought me up. I don't want to say whether I was spoiled or I was hated, because I got both of the two worlds. Being the firstborn, I was beaten for everybody else's mistake. And then, they were also very, very good to me. in the sense that they encouraged me. They told me I was going to be great, I was going to be the best thing in the world, I was going to be the one who was going to hold the family together. I didn't love that because I wanted to be free. However, now I understand why they did it. And I really, really appreciate that. And my advice is to you as parents, hoping that your children will either join you or not, is to make sure that you give them the freedom, because I was also given the freedom, just to work with both of them. More so my dad, because he was in education, and he allowed me to be there. Told me off and loved me. Told me off and loved me. Went to the best schools. In those days, I went to Loreto Convent, Musongari. Made sure I got the best education, even though they had very little. Give your children the best you can give them. We are told education is our future, isn't it? Would I be here if I had not followed those instructions? I wouldn't be here. Mountain View School will not be where it is today. So I appreciate and I thank God for my parents. Even though they went when I was a grown-up, I think because of the way we were brought up, we were able to stay together. We were 5, we lost our sister in 2020. When we were going through our succession, we had another school which a brother of mine opted out of Mountain View School and went to carry on with the other school. I worked very well with my 2 brothers. For lack of a better word, I'm their next parent.
Matriarch.
Yes, and I feel so humbled. I feel so humbled, and all glory to God for all this. I wouldn't have done it without him.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Nina Mutegi, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Mirema School. Mirema School is a primary school that is off Thika Road in Nairobi. And what I can say, that's a very loaded question. I am one of 3 siblings, so I'm the firstborn. This firstborn, my name is it's always a lot of pressure. Yeah. And I started working in Mirema about 7 years ago. So my sister was running the school before me. She has since stepped away to do other businesses. And I came back from the UK after living abroad for 23 years.
Okay.
So I came back. I had been working as a nurse in a hospital, just like a nurse, what you know a nurse to be. And suddenly I came home and I wanted to start my own healthcare business, and I was thrust into the finance department in school because, like all of us, everybody was struggling there with money being stolen and mishandled. And I asked myself for a very long time, what am I doing here? I'm a nurse and I was a good nurse. And I really was conflicted about it. I'm sharing this for the next gens in the group because many of us will have come with ideas on life and what you think your life should be. So I found myself doing more and more of the schoolwork, and because of my experience, God has a way of using all the experiences you have had to build you up for something you did not expect. So I had worked as a global nurse working in different countries, so I had the opportunity to see how systems work or don't work. I'd had the opportunity to set up programs in different countries, and I found myself using some of those skills in Mirema School. So remember, I've come as a nurse, now I'm working in finance. So I had to go and do a finance course. I had to go to iTax offices and figure out how they do tax. I had to make SG my friend because he knows numbers and I don't. And I'm suddenly the one in charge of the numbers in the business. I had to go on the Nehemiah course and learn how to do business, basically. And like Betty keeps bigging me up on that, and it's really a success story because to win an international award for a business model when you're a nurse is not a joke. I was very well supported, and I just realized now how God has put his hand in everything. So my advice then for the parents, the founders, what my parents did fantastically, and I don't even know whether I could do it, was to step back, give us the checkbooks, make us signatories, and they left us. They were watching from a distance. Of course, they're still on the board. They're still making sure we're not making any fatal decisions. But we have made decisions. We've lost money, sometimes a lot of money. And you know, they can see it coming, but you see, we'll be the younger ones. We are a bit more, you know, risk takers compared to them. But that decision is actually what has allowed us to now come into the business, because we realized having them and us in the business was extremely difficult. Extremely. I come from a Meru background. Having an argument with my Meru father it was difficult. So for them to step back, I think, was the best thing. And then now for us to get the skills that we needed to run the business, now they don't even look. They have trusted us completely, and it has worked very well in that transition. So finally, when you're in your business, please put structures in. I have a contract. I wrote my own contract. But imagine for a young person, these are the years you're supposed to be making money. Now me, I'm moving to 5th floor. So imagine your young son or daughter coming into a job where they don't have a salary, they don't have benefits, they don't have anything. You're actually doing them a disservice. And you have to pay them at as close to the market rate as you can. That's the way to get them in. And that is what I was able to do for myself, which then allows me to have peace, because I have a family as well that I must contribute to. So put those structures in place, and then the biggest one, put your house in order with regard to ownership of things, inheritance, wills. Those were the things that held my family back for a very long time, until we knew what was going to, okay, we don't know what's in our parents' wills, but things like ownership, property, all that is very clear now. We have a trust that manages that, so nobody is, you know, waiting for the surprise of, will it be Nina, will it be my sister, my brother? There's no surprise. Shareholding is done, equal portions, and now I get paid as an employee, and then I get my dividends as a shareholder, because I belong to the company, and it's very well structured. So,
Thank you.
Good evening. That was a very scary statement that Mzee made. That if the school goes down, it is who? If it thrives, it is who? The children. It was very scary for me. Now, you can see what I deal with in the house. This is what I deal with in the house. And I promise you, if you come next year for the AGM, I'll tell you how we got married. But just a hint of it. Joseph was sold in Egypt. Joseph was sold? In Egypt. And he married? An Egyptian. Who? Pharaoh's daughter. Yes.
What can we say?
So it was God's design. It was God's design. Actually, I think why this lady married me, she was a God sent. Why this lady married me, she had no challenge then at school. So she came and saw a graduate who is arguing with her. You know, when you come from campus, you have a lot of energy. You want to show the world you can do it. So they come and says, we do this. I say, why? I don't think so. We should do it like this. So she had to bring me closer. My name is Stephen Kimani Gikungu, and I joined Marion School in 1991. We used to hire buses. Our bus broke down. And when it broke down, these two vehicles that we had hired came to school, and they were parked. So the director, we used to call him the director, told the drivers, go and get the other children on the road. So they entered into the bus and went to get the other children. The owner of the vehicle, that guy was a crook, I would say. He turned back the vehicles and told them, why are you going? No, we have been sent to get. So no, go back, that's not your work. When they saw them coming, he asked, why are you coming back? Said, you have been told to come back. By who? By the owner. Do you know what Nze did? he told them, I do not want to see this vehicle in my compound. That is in the morning. Hired vehicle that we had a contract with. And the guys left. I looked at that man, I said, this man is crazy. We have children to carry in the evening, and here he is, he has sent the vehicles away. He was very wise, very wise. He knew here things are backfired. He came and he called me in his office and told me, Kimani, I said yes. These guys, forget about them. I said, why? Imagine if they're the ones who have not come to carry your children. You are lucky I'm the one chasing them away. So you know you have chased them away. So you can be able to do whatever you want. Imagine if they did not come in the evening. What would you do? He said, he's making a lot of courage. He was a man of courage. And up today, I remember him and I say, when he passed on, you know some people you think they would not die, eh? Actually. Me, I didn't think he would, Fred, I didn't think Mzee would die. I mean, at his age of 76, he was still young. But he passed on and that's like, actually things changed when he passed on. This lady was given the chairmanship, she's also my chair. She's my board chair, I'm the CEO. So you can see that dynamics, those dynamics. Family business, husband, wife, in-law, mother, father, grandfather. It's crazy, it's crazy.
Kikuyu culture.
Given the checkbook to run, I mean, it's crazy. And very scary by that time. It was very, very, very scary. Even today, I'm normally scared because I say, I have to leave a legacy. I have to leave Marion School standing. And that's why, in fact, Mzee one day said, Kimani, I hope you do not regret being in Marion for that long. Can you imagine? He was a very wise man. Thank you.
I was telling my family there yesterday that if my father had been here, when one person was talking down at us yesterday, those of you who know my dad, he would have walked on this stage, taken the mic and told the person, sit down. You have said enough. This is our meeting. He used to tell us, I don't care if it's the NSSF, NHIF people walking, KRA people. When you walk through that gate, can you give me the respect I deserve? So as we are taught very quickly not to get scared. Like now, hey, this guy can tell you about our junior secondary mademas. Literally, they are just ridiculous. But they're wondering, what's wrong? What's the problem? Nobody walks there. So I want to encourage anybody who gets terrified by government officials. You want to be compliant. They are there to help you be compliant. Even KRA is not there to shut you down. It wants the taxes, so it can't really shut you down. It's counterproductive, isn't it? So, but that courage of seeing somebody, and you know you have done something wrong, eh? There's somebody who said somewhere, I think some of the reasons why founders don't let children coming in, because we will discover that you are not as perfect as you are making us to be. Because some of us entered there and wondered, hiya, and you have not done what? And you have not paid what? And you do not do what? And you do what? All right, so clean up your house and your school ethically, yeah? And all those things. So the last person is Christabel.
I don't know whether Dr. Tindika have bragging rights. I don't know whether I'm in that generation of bragging rights, but I really, I would tell them if I would choose parents, people don't choose their parents, but if I would choose, I'd choose them. Even now, if I was told, amongst the billions of people in the world, I would choose them. Because there are so many things that I find precious about them, and especially when it comes to education. And even as we grew up, what really mattered was values. It was never the points. It was never the, what number of grades you got, but how you behaved, You could fail your maths test. You could fail something, you wouldn't be in trouble. But you tell a lie, you would be in such serious trouble and you'd see such disappointment on them. And even when my mom started the Amika school, it was really, really value-based. And it was not so much about the points you get or, you know, how well you perform in this and that test. And you find that when you start from the side of value, everything else works out. The points just play themselves out. And I think we all did very well in school. My eldest late brother was a dentist. I was the one who's a teacher. My sister is a good economist. We have two engineers, two brothers who are engineers, and another one is a banker, and they all passed, did really, really well. But that was, and people used to think it's because the focus was on the performance, but it was never that. It was just on values. Things like respect. Do you respect people? Do you respect your teachers? Do you respect your employees? Your children will see that. They'll pick up that from your compound. CBC is curriculum reforms. It is not anything new. Even long time ago, Aristotle said, if you train the mind, yeah, and not the heart, that's not education. If you educate the mind and not educate the heart, that's not education. Theodore Roosevelt said, if you educate the mind alone and not values, you're creating a menace in society. And I think we have seen that, yeah? So in our training programs, we are really, really, we really place large emphasis on that. Education before, even African traditional education, emphasized values, yeah? Our own Kenyan education emphasized values before the madness of the 400 plus points came in and the commercialization of education, as one of the speakers said. And when you commercialize and you get those whatever points, you don't necessarily create successful people in society. Some of the schools that don't brag about points and all these kind of things have brought about very successful people, and they're very well sought out schools because people know they instill values. Even some of the universities right now are known for that because they know that person has something extra. So that's what I'd like to bring about. Let's bring about values in our training programs. We have the Amica School Teacher Training Program and the Kinderheads Teacher Training Program. My background, I was the only one who was a teacher. I've listed what my siblings did. I got into teaching, and I was the only one in teaching in our family. So I used to go and help out here and there, and then somehow I just found myself there. I used to teach, I used to work more in the international systems and in the international schools. And when I came into the 844, I saw that there was a lot missing in terms of things like creativity, things that bring about critical thinking and problem solving, and that is why I'm very, very passionate about that, because I got to observe it in the international schools and I did not see it in our schools. And it doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money to bring about creativity in the schools, and that's why we do a lot of this training, a lot of the refresher courses. I'd like to thank you so much. So many of you have supported me in that, and you continue to support me in that. Let's continue working together to bring about that, and that's how I ended up at Amica School. Sometimes I fantasize about the time I was just teaching and just close my eyes, open my eyes at the end of the month, and there's a salary. Now the end of the month is my nightmare. But yeah, but anyway, it's been a good experience. Thank you very much.
So when you come for a whole day, we teach you how to get buy-in with practical examples from the stories of the next gen where that transition has happened successfully. Na Mungu awabariki mpaka mshangae.